It
Uh,
started now.
Good evening, everyone. It is 6 p.m. on Monday, March 9th, 2026. This is a meeting of the Katuitt Fire District Prudential Committee. Um, our first order of business is to stand if you are able and pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to take the roll call. Mark Lynch here.
John Havel here.
Jeff Burdick present.
Ray Peron present.
Ryan Olet present.
And we also have in attendance representatives from Icon Architecture, Paul D. Gian Domenico. I think I got that right the third time. And also from our project managers, left field, Joe Sullivan, Kevin Sullivan, and Kayla Gallo. The next order of business is public comment. Please raise your hand if you would like to make a comment.
Carol's first. If you could just state your first and last name and address. Carol?
Are you unmuted, Carol?
Shows her unmuted. Maybe she stepped away. Oh, yeah. We'll go to Patty Daly then.
Okay. Go ahead, Patty.
Thank you. I have two comments. First of all, with the departing of the clerk, I did look at some other districts to try and figure out what clerks typically, fire district clerks earn. And West Barnstable is paying their clerk $10,000 annually, I believe. And Ray, Perone, I know you do their budgets as well as ours. So if you have a different understanding of that, feel free to jump in. But you get what you pay for. We're paying $3,550 base pay. I know that 4,000 was spent last year, but I think you need to consider in order to attract decent talent, um, perhaps raising the salary for that position or base fee. And secondly, I note that this is your at least second Zoom only meeting. And I'm wondering going forward if you intend to not hold any more hybrid meetings because you don't want to pay money to upgrade the technology. And I'm also wondering why, when we're Zoom only, the chat is disabled. It's not that hard to keep track of chat and report it back to the meeting going forward. Thank you.
Neither of those. Well, the second one is on the agenda, and thank you for that. We will discuss that when we get to that topic. On the Zoom only meetings, no, I don't intend to continue making them Zoom only meetings. Um, we did have a little bit of technological problem with one of the meetings, and we wanted to make sure that since we knew we were going to have third parties, Icon Architecture, left field, that we made sure everyone could participate. But yeah, I anticipate going to hybrid meetings again. Chat is disabled only because I'm not aware of a way that it can be recorded. That is, it's a commentary. It's not a commentary that would be recorded, but we can look into that. Any other public comments? Is Carol back?
Yeah, we'll go to Carol. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Thank you. I signed off and signed back on. I don't know what happened. Just two things. Hi, it's fun to see you guys every week. I just wanted to two things. One was about the clerk, and I just would like to say that those of us, or myself and maybe some others on the Civic Association, would be happy to volunteer to step up to if there's a way for like someone to handle nominations and the elections, and then someone else can be doing the warrants, just trying to help you think outside the box. As you search for someone. And my other idea was that, just sharing an idea, that during COVID, we had to push off our annual district meeting to June. And so if you're really getting backed up, you might consider asking for a special circumstances because of the district clerk being, so that you can have a little bit more time to get someone into place. Then in regards to the boulders that I said last time, one of the things I forgot to say is another reason I don't think the boulders are a great idea personally is because they are can be very prone to graffiti and painting. And I just think a green fence, which means something with trees and bushes, just might look a little more natural and not have that graffiti exposure. So just wanted to put that out there. And that's that. I hope that things get a little smoother for you soon.
Any other comments? Okay, our first order of business then is going to be the meeting minutes approval from our March 3rd, 2026 meeting. I reviewed them and they look fine to me. I'll take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The March 3rd, 2026 meeting minutes are approved. The next item on the agenda is the Katuitt School. We now have in hand final drawings. I was looking at them over the weekend. I found some typos that I spoke with our project manager about getting resolved. So I think we're all set there. I had one question, and perhaps Paul knows the answer to this. On the site plan for the old driveways next to Old Oyster Road, there is a construction entrance, and just above the construction entrance is what appears to be riprap or cobblestone or some kind of stone. I know just below that there's a gate there, and just below, so to speak, the gate that's paved with asphalt. What does that signify? That kind of riprap there north of the gate, is that rock or is it asphalt? What does that mean?
The riprap is actually large stone. It's sort of used usually as a base or a temporary roadway for construction. They may have put it there just because the gate's there. If there's ever the potential to have vehicular traffic, it at least gives you some sort of apron off the roadway before you venture in any further into the site. I don't know that for certain. That's just what I'm thinking it is. I could ask the landscape architect to give us a clarification on it.
Okay. But it is contemplated to be permanent?
Um,
Oh, Joe, you're breaking up.
Sorry, hold on a minute. Can you hear me any better now?
That's much better.
So typically riprap is put in place for two reasons. One, it is a break between the roadway and the construction site that we're doing, and it basically allows any of the truck, mud, tire, or any of the debris on the vehicle to be taken off of the tires before it hits the roadway area. They do that intentionally to try to knock. It's basically a knockdown pad before any the demo trucks would be hauling material out of there, or heavy equipment. That they normally would put that during the duration of the demo and construction and have it removed prior to the completion of the project.
Okay, that was exactly my understanding of what typically happens, and we would prefer that the riprap be removed. So to the extent that requires any little change in the drawing, please undertake that. If it's already clear and I just didn't pick it up, then it's fine. Seth, John, any other thoughts on the latest kind of final version of this?
Looks fine to me.
No additional thoughts.
Okay. With that, then I'm going to make a motion to approve the 100% construction drawing package and allow to go to bid for contractors to provide pricing for the contract.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes unanimously. The next document is the clerk replacement. Ray has made a couple of inquiries. I've made an inquiry. I don't think we've gotten. Well, I haven't gotten any bites. Ray, can you tell us who you spoke to about this issue and what the response was?
Ray, you
Ray,
gotta unmute
you're
yourself.
muted.
There we go. Sorry about the. Yes, I've spoken with the existing clerk at West Barnstable, and he really doesn't want to take on any more. I've spoken with Barnstable Village about the other. That was the other place that Charlie was the clerk for. And they were appointing someone before the election. That's an elected post, not appointed. And they appointed someone in the interim, and he was not interested in taking on the additional duties. The last place I'm going to go to, which I haven't gone to, is the auditors to see if they know of anyone who would be available and qualified to fill in as clerk.
Actually, Ray had this idea, and I thought it was a good one. I spoke with Jim Danhauser today, who many of you know, and he was the head of the Civic Association for many years, and someone I got to know well working on this project, actually, the Katuitt School project. Always lovely to catch up with Jim, but the short shot is that he doesn't have any interest in being clerk. He's very involved in the Service Corps of retired executives and with a nonprofit called Champs Homes. So it was great to hear from him, to talk with him, but that's a no-go too. Unless someone has other suggestions, I don't think I want to start advertising here just because of the timing. What say you guys?
I'm partial to almost a more homegrown solution at this point, just to see if it's possible. I think Patty brought up a great point about the compensation, which is maybe a different topic, but someone within the community who it, I know this is an appointed position in our fire district, correct?
Yes.
So with no prior qualifications required in terms of certifications or experience necessary, it's not defined.
The qualifications for the clerk? No,
Yes.
it kind of lays out the duties, but not all of them. Some of them are also mandated by the state.
And generally, it's someone who's familiar with Robert's rules and some of the operations of um, districts within the Commonwealth.
Yeah. I mean, this is not a moderator position. The moderator is an elected position and runs the annual meeting. Um,
Yeah, I mean, whether it's for this first one, um, by committee, so to speak, while designating, we had talked about Ryan or someone as uh, we would need a clerk designation, but I'm curious if I would be interested in exploring the ways to handle it within the fire district for
I
this
don't I don't think that we
upcoming
can.
election.
I'm sorry, I talked over you.
Oh,
Go ahead, John.
no, sorry. I was for this upcoming election, longer term, I think it would make sense to have someone in a professional sense, but just mostly because of the timing um, with our upcoming meeting.
Um, I don't think, although I appreciate the suggestion, that we can have the job broken up and people volunteering for different parts of it. Um, just because the bylaws don't contemplate it. And there are some, pretty serious legal requirements that need to, you would hate to have two or three people pointing at each other and saying, "Oh, I thought you were going to advertise in the local paper and arrange for the recording and et cetera, et cetera." I mean, this is stuff that's got to be done right. Um, I mean, if anyone wants to raise their hand, that would be great. But in the short term, I mean, I am inclined to ask. Well, let's go back to the other comment that was made about salary. Ray, do you have an idea of what any of the other districts pay?
Excuse me. No, Patty's right. We do pay our clerk $10,000 in West Barnstable, and he's very active in a number of phases of conducting district business. And I think that Patty's point should be well taken, that you do pay for what you get. And I think that we would want to engage someone who at least has some background in municipal operations. One thing on advertising, when we advertised for Ryan's position, you do get responses quite quickly. So that isn't it isn't that daunting of a prospect.
Hmm. Can you tell us a little bit about the duties of the West Barnstable? Are these like to like the duties of the Katuitt Fire District clerk and the West Barnstable clerk?
Very much the same. In uh, as things developed with Charlie, and I think he had some illness problems before this one. I would do the warrant. We outsourced the minutes, um, and basically, Charlie was as a consultant on procedural consultant for district operations. Dan does all of that and really advises not only the committee, but he advises me as well of things that may not comport with municipal or Commonwealth regulations. So it does take a little bit of experience that, and Dan really developed that. He's a former executive who retired to Katuitt and is enjoying his retirement, but took this on and is fulfilling the task very well.
But it has no interest in us.
Can't. I'm sorry.
But it
No,
has no
he
interest.
doesn't. He's got some challenges, and that he didn't want to take it on. He would have been excellent, but he convinced me he couldn't step up to the plate.
All right. We have our usual regularly scheduled Prudential committee meeting is the 23rd. Ray, you and I can talk offline. Maybe advertising is the way to go, so at least we have a pool of possibilities. But we need to get this done in the next few weeks at the latest, or we will be very unhappy with ourselves. So we're not making a lot of progress on that item. It will continue to be on the list. Ray, you and I will talk. In the meantime, anyone on this call who has any ideas, any possible candidates, or any inkling to put themselves up, by all means, let us know. Our next agenda item is the treasurer's report. There was a treasurer's report just a couple of weeks ago, but I think Ray has some additional information he wants to share with us.
No, I really don't want to share it with you because it's embarrassing, but I will share it with you in the spirit of full disclosure.
Okay.
I'm having a problem tracking the transactions involved in the funding last June, and I'm working with the auditors right now to resolve that. But
And the funding means the funding of the
two loans we retired one loan and opened a new loan in June.
These were bans.
Bans. I'm using loans, so I'm not hanging people up with
right
insider terminology.
Okay.
And basically, our accounting system is comprised of funds. And you can think of funds as different departments. And involved in the debt transactions or the loan transactions is the general fund and the capital fund. Everything flows through the general fund and then it resides in the capital fund. The capital fund is the place where we record our articles and our loans. When you retire a loan, some money from that is transferred from the capital to the general and dispersed then from the general to the lending institution. And when you open a loan, the proceeds come into the general fund, are recorded there, and then transferred to the capital fund. In all those transfers, I apparently failed to deduct one of the transfers. And therefore, I find that when I look at the cash balances, it appears that we're overstated by $85,803, which happens to be the amount of money that would move from the capital fund to the general fund to retire the old loan. Now, transfer implies that there should be another side to this. And that's where I'm struggling to find that other side of this transfer. In the meantime, as I said, I'm working with the auditors to try to resolve this. But it is it is a little embarrassing when you you can't get your debits and credits to equal, with the consequence that you initially overstated your cash balances, which has been corrected. So that's kind of where we are. I'm hoping that either at the next meeting or soon thereafter, I'll have either a stroke of brilliance or the auditors will point to the error in my ways and we'll have it resolved.
Okay, we obviously will keep this as an agenda item until it is resolved.
Absolutely.
John, Seth, any comments or questions?
I just have a question for Ray, just to confirm that this is simply an accounting oversight or an accounting error, not with no kind of real financial impact to any of the loans or credits or anything that it's like
Well,
the funds exist, the funds are being used correctly, but this is simply a back end kind of accounting situation, or am I wrong?
no, it ends up affecting cash because you're moving money between funds. And I found the error on one side. I can't find the compensating error on the other side. All expenses, all revenue are recorded and properly so. This appears to be something between funds, but until I resolve it, I can't say that for sure.
Thank you.
Okay, we will follow that closely. The next item on the agenda was fire union negotiations. I'm just going to let that pass without any further, without any commentary. I thought we might be a little farther along than we are. We're still discussing that with the union. Stand by. Then the last item on the agenda is public comment again.
Mark, I have a question pertaining
Sure.
to something we talked about earlier
Okay.
that just occurred to me, if we may, before we do public comment.
Yeah.
So, what day are the nomination papers due? Is it
That is,
not April 5th? Does that ring a bell with anybody?
it doesn't. Someone asked me that the other day, and I said I don't know.
I think
It's in April for
yes, that's
sure.
right.
Because they have
I
to go
can
first
find
to
out
the
very
town or
quickly.
first to the clerk of the fire district and then to the town clerk by 2 dates certain. And if that's a fact, I think we need to do something because we don't have, the clerk is our notary. The clerk, we need to do something sooner than later. So if we have the next meeting is going to be the end of this month, if in fact it's dependent on what that date is, I guess. I could Google it. I can't believe I
No,
don't know it.
you're right, Seth. I'm looking at last year's, but I don't have
Uh-huh.
this year's. But last year's the paperwork to the town clerk on April 8th was when it was due,
Uh-huh.
and then returned the signature verified paperwork to the Katuah Water Department April 23rd. So the first
So
week of
that's when
April, third week of April.
so first to the town clerk, then to the clerk of the fire district.
First is the not pick up the nomination papers, collect the signatures, then to the town first week of April,
Right,
then from the town to the district the third week of April, or
right.
roughly.
So that gives us a little more time, I guess. I couldn't remember which way it was.
And
But
again, consistent with our trying to keep John's tenure in this temporary position as short as possible, but this would be the kind of thing that, if necessary, he could sign as acting clerk, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah, but your point is well taken. If we could have a full-time regular clerk in sooner, that would probably be better. I'm sure John would prefer that.
Well, that was just a thought I had. I mean, we'll obviously continue in this fashion for a period, but the
but not
sooner
for
we nail it
long.
down. No. Anyway, that was it. That's all for me.
All right. Any public comment?
Carol Zayas?
Hi. So I believe the nomination papers have somewhere around 50 days before the election. It's all laid out in the bylaws, but I also believe we use nomination papers provided by the town, perhaps. And Jen Nash might have more specifics because you used to pick up your papers from her. Then you would take it to the town to get verified, and then you would deliver them back to Charlie. So that's the process. But they do, it happens in April for sure.
Last year, at least in my case, it was deliver them to Jen. But yes, that was the process.
Yeah, because it was hard to get Charlie in the village.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't we determine that for certain with the bylaws in the town and report back to it ASAP? And I'll take that on.
Thank you, Ray.
And then the next part of the clerk would be to be reserving Freedom Hall for the election and getting volunteers. He had one Democrat, one Republican who would check people in and check people out and then do the counting. And I believe he got the check-in, the voter records from the town of Barnstable clerk so that we're up to date. And I think there's a police detail usually at the election, the day of election. I see Ray nodding his head yes.
Yeah.
So those nuances of, oh, and the voter boxes, I'm not sure where those are kept, but I think they might be in Freedom Hall. But I'm not sure if anybody has seen those, so we need those as well.
I think you're right, Carol. I can take a look at Freedom Hall.
Okay. But
We're up in the attic.
Let's be careful too. We're all kind of speaking a little off the cuff. I thought, Carol, that getting people to help run the meeting was actually the moderator's job.
it's not a meeting, it's an election. And then, so I'm talking about the election.
Got it. Okay.
At the meeting is, you're absolutely correct. The moderator gets the people, but at the election, it was Charlie. And I often volunteer. Actually, it's not a volunteered; it's a paid position. So myself and Brendan Naylor. What's the other guy's name that I used to? So I know the names. If I can help you at all, I am here to help. I absolutely, want to do as much as you need to, to go ahead with this.
We can get the names from last year that we paid
Yeah.
paid those people. And I think Carol's right in her recollection.
Thanks, Ray.
Okay. Let's all of this suggests even more that we need to get someone knowledgeable and soon. Let's see if we can't make that happen. We got another meeting coming up in 2 weeks. Other public comment?
Where can we see in the final drawings?
They're on the Katuitt Fire District website.
So they've been updated?
Even those aren't the final. I think we will. As I said, I found some typos that were being remedied today. Don't know whether that version has hit the, it probably has not hit the website yet, but I believe this is going to happen in the next, the bids are going to go out the 11th. So we will have a final before that goes out, and we will take down the 50% and the latest version and put up what is going to be used for the bidding as soon as we're sure that we've got the typos squared away.
Mark, I'll have the final package for you tomorrow to review. And then we just have to have the bid package posted on the website by 3 p.m. on Wednesday.
Great. And Ryan is going to assist you in that endeavor.
Yep.
Okay.
But I'll send you it. I'll send you it first so you can look it over.
This, for people who don't know, is Kayla Gallo, who is with Left Field, our project manager. All right. Any more public comment? Anything for the good of the whole? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
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 We are in adjournment. Thank you all.
Thank you.